Are we ready? Of course we are. Anyway, this little sermon is going to be about homeless. And I thought I would make it clear as to what I know about homeless in the city of Portland. My son and I, back in I think 2001, took the city of Portland to court over the homeless ordinance and won. Judge Gallagher said it was unconstitutional. Shortly after that, they did an article about me and my son in the Oregonian, or one of the local newspapers. And we were homeless at the time. So Join, one of their agents, took us around to find houses for me and my son and my two dogs, service dogs. They found a house on North Killingsworth. It had a big hole in the roof. We didn't know that. The landlord rented it to Join as is. Now, that as is thing, where the hell did that come from? I mean, as is rental? Is that even legal? Okay, so they rented this house for us. We didn't know what the surprises were. They used money that the city of Portland gave them, $80,000, to put people into housing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given that money to anybody. They would have kept it. Except that this newsworthy article drew attention onto my homelessness. Okay. And it's only because of low income. That's it, folks. I don't aspire to live on the streets and mix it up with disgusting creatures. I mean, I kind of lack a little sympathy for these people because, they make a conscious decision to do what they're doing, pumping drugs into their veins. And, all that stuff they do, crack and fentanyl and whatever. It's hard for me to have sympathy for those folks. They're human, I know. But listen, a lesson I try to teach my son every day of his life. You gotta be responsible for what the hell you're doing. That's all there is to it. These are people that don't want to be responsible for anything except doing drugs. So, that's my take on it, okay? It isn't that I don't have empathy for them or some humane feelings for them, because I do. But I find it very, very difficult to sympathize with them and say, oh, poor thing, you're doing drugs and you're so mistreated, misguided, missed everything, Nah, that don't work. Here's the thing. Um, making drugs legal, I don't know. Keeping them illegal, I don't know. But it just seems to me that there's a lot of crime that goes along with the selling and doing of drugs. And it's only going to get worse and worse and worse as they discover more and more drugs to get high on. You know, in my mind, I'm saying to myself, look, I never did drugs. No, never got drunk. And that was a decision that I made. I made a conscious decision that I didn't want to do that. And I have good, sound, basic reasons for it that everybody can associate with. I don't need to get high. I'm high on life, you know. So getting high for me was not something that I aspired to do or want my son to aspire to do either. That's why neither one of us do drugs. We smoke pot. Um, drink a little Guinness occasionally, maybe a bottle of wine, but we never, ever overdrink. We never get stoned. We just get a little high. That's it. And don't go beyond that. And that's another thing. Some people don't know their limitations. You know, they just go about, doing whatever and know nothing, like not being responsible. That's the wrongest thing to teach somebody, that it's okay to be irresponsible and not do the right thing. And regardless of whether there's a heaven or a hell, or the Bible or the Quran or all of those religious claptrap, um, each and every one of us know what right and wrong is. Okay? I don't need to read a book by um, a British playwright. My brain is failing me right now. I'm not as bad as Biden though. Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote the Bible for King James, and that's why it sounds British. The ye's and the yeas and the heretofores and all that. Those are all English words, English diction. People in that area of the world where they claim the Bible took place at don't speak like that. No, uh-uh. So, my beliefs, I just have to believe what I got to believe, that's all. And I'm not going to insult anybody for what they believe. But here's the thing. Irregardless of heaven or hell, or whose God is the right God or the wrong God or whatever, there's too many gods on this planet right now. I can't, it's like the old adage, there was so many witches in the woods, you couldn't tell which witch was which. Right? Okay, well, that's the way this is. There's so many gods running around and claims of gods, and their God is the right God, and that God, and they all have different looks, like the white Jesus Christ, for instance. Who the hell? I mean, what kind of brain believes that this man was a white man with long brown hair and big green or blue eyes or whatever? Hmm? Who? He was a Jew, this man they're talking about, and he was a black Jew. That's what the Jews looked like in that area where the Bible took place. They were black. The white Jews of Europe are a whole different breed. And if you know the story about how the Jews migrated, then you know. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. But I am going to get into this camping thing. These people perpetuate poverty. They take vehicles away from people, and that's the last vestige of what they have in life after they've lost everything. The vehicle is all they got, and it's shelter. They've taken so many vehicles away from people in this city and all the cities all over the United States. They take a homeless person's vehicle, they never ever see it again, and then the city makes a profit off it. Okay? Now, I know for a fact that the Ninth District Court in the federal court system ruled that you couldn't do that any longer. It was a case of, let me see if I can remember it, Raintree versus the city of LA. And I'm not sure of the year. And it was a class action suit brought on by a few people. And they won. And you ought to read the decision. Okay? This business of, let me just say this first before I even go into that. Homelessness is a whopping business for the people who call themselves homeless providers. And how that works is the city distributes the funds that are available for the homeless for housing around to these agencies. And each agency has a list for housing. And And they get money to house people with. They get money for, and here's where most of the money goes, to their employees, furniture, computers, and all kinds of other office junk they don't need. The homeless would love to have. Okay, for instance, Northwest Pilot Project. Go down to their office downtown and see what they did with their homeless funds. They're in a nice, beautiful building. Kind of sterile on the inside. Doesn't look friendly even. Not warm or anything. I believe homeless money built that office for them. And the thing is, when I went down there, the lady at the desk told me, or at the counter told me, there was no housing available. And I've been on the housing list for 2 years, all the way back to 2021. Because my caseworker at that time signed me up for it so I could transition from one place to another, have my own place. I don't need the state to assist me in my living arrangements. I already tried that out. They paid $8,650 to a goon to abuse me and take my property, and when I complained, I was no longer worth $8,650, and they just tossed me out on the street. Seriously, they did that. So they don't like people who tell these kind of stories because it makes them look bad, and they are bad for doing it. I think it's even illegal because I'm disabled and I have disability rights as well as senior disability rights. I don't know exactly what they are, but I'm going to find out. I just filed another lawsuit in U.S. District Court against the city and the county. Okay? And I already got one going against the city. And there's another county that I'm going to go after too. And that be Columbia County in the city of Scappoose. They crunched up 3 of my vehicles too. And took everything I owned. On a hoax. All the charges were reversed in at appellate court. These people are just criminals, folks. Come on. Criminals. You know, taking people's vehicles away from them like they just did to mine. You know, I mean, I guess I said in the other videos what is a 1991 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme with a brand new red paint job and a brand new rag top on it. And it was all original. The hubcaps were there and everything. The wheels, everything worked and everything was original. Nice car. A little rocket ship. They came and took it from me without a complaint, without tickets, without anything. They wanted my car. Again, I'll say that. So that made me homeless on the streets again. That's the second time in like 3 years. They just took my shit on me. This shit gotta stop. The legal system can't put up with this bullshit. Come on, folks. Any legal system that puts up with this illegal stuff is communist. That's why I say Portland is a communist city. It has communist factions in it. No police accountability, and that has to do with the auditor and the union. They protect these bad cops. They foist them upon the public. They know they're bad. They know they're murderous. They know they're brutal, and they swap them from one police department to another so they can brutalize another city. And they hop from city to city. And there have been cases where cops have been released from their job and jumped 3 or 4 times from one city to another. The videos are right on YouTube even. There are over 600,000 videos on YouTube alone, not counting all the other stations, of police bullshit on people. Murder, rape, you name it. Just recently, 6 murdered Tyree. 6. Those are the people they hire. They have no psychiatric evaluation. They have nobody checking up on them ever. They throw these psychos out into society and hope that they do a good job. And when they start failing, they start covering up for them. And after they do all that damage to the public, that poor kid, man, and this is right after they just got finished doing the same thing to another black man. The same damn thing. What's the matter with their brains? Are they miswired or something? Or they're just psychos? These people hire psychos to police us. That's why there's so much trouble. There are good cops in this city of Portland. There are. But there are also psychos that go way back, to the 70s and 80s. When beating up faggots, as they would call them, was okay. And they would even say, they would go down to Laurel Horse Park, let's go get some faggots tonight. Smoke 'em, don't choke 'em. Again. And the Brotherhood of the Strong. Those were all police gangs in this city. This city does not have a good reputation in how the police and the justice system treats people, especially people who complain about them or have a beef with them. See, I told my son like this. I said, these people never back down. They just go deeper and deeper and deeper in on you because they don't see themselves as being wrong. See, that's the thing. And the deeper they go, the more trouble they're in. And they can't reason that out in their head. That's why they need more psychiatric evaluations. They need a better quality of police officers. They need to recruit better quality and give them psychiatric evaluations. Give them social evaluations, any kind of evaluation to bring out that sadistic or that masochistic part of that person. Okay? Because that's what this is. This is sadistic stuff these people are doing. They get this power, just like the Catholic priests, These guys flocked to the priesthood just to get close to children. Okay, and these guys flock to the police departments just to get close to people and exercise their power and their authority. And it's a sexual thing with some of them. The weird ones. The ones that want to get on top of you and twist you and bend you and rub up all against you. That is sexual, is what that is. And all the ones that flock to it, I've seen like a dozen cops flock to something where only 2 cops were needed. And they're all in on it. They're all rubbing up against each other even. And handling each other and sweating on each other and pounding on the poor soul down there. It's all sexual. And they can't say it ain't. Because that's what sadomasochism is. So all you good police officers out there that aren't sadomasochists, I tip my hat to you. Let you see my bald head. It's not about cops. It's about a better quality of cops. And there are better quality cops out there. And when I come up against them, I treat them so. If they want to give me shit, they're getting shit right back. Because that's my personality. I can't hold that back. My brain will not allow me. The way I'm wired. I don't control it even. That's what PTSD is. Fear. It's driven by fear. Anyway, thank you.